is doing that. We're not always able to trace the lines of God's activity with precision. But inspired by the faithful presence of the risen Christ, we must cling to the hope that this is what God is doing on our behalf all of the time. Be happy to take a few questions or comments. They're all suffering so much, I don't feel like asking my question.
Well, it takes a while. That's a lot of heavy material.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of heavy material. Well, just to keep you busy for a second, and just because it's so, self-evident, we obviously are a church racked with suffering.
Yeah.
From the sexual abuse scandal to what can at least appear to many at times as a separating out within the body of Christ, such that the members and the parts aren't one. A strong unity is something you undertook in your dissertation. Just maybe a reflective word about that experience of distress and dis-ease.
Yeah. I was talking with Father John Kelleher at dinner tonight about this. I happened to be teaching at St. John's Seminary in 2002 when much of this sexual abuse scandal broke with the John Gagan story and others. And I'll never forget January 6, 2002. I'm an early riser. I used to go down and usually the rector, who's now Bishop Richard Lennon of Cleveland, was there, and we would analyze the most recent fate of the Celtics, the Patriots, or the Red Sox. So it's a very important theological discussion going on there. But it happened to be the first of the Globe Spotlight series came out. The paper was on the table. And I read that. I remember thinking, this is going to be a long siege. This isn't going to be over anytime soon. And of course, it hasn't been. And in the weeks after that, I remember driving up the center driveway at the seminary, going on the Commonwealth Avenue, there the T runs down the middle from BC, and to go to Walgreens to get something I needed, trying to take a right, and you couldn't see the oncoming traffic because there were so many media trucks in front of the Cardinals' residence. It was a very difficult time to be teaching in the seminary. And there are a lot of angles on this. I think from one perspective, we can see it as a time in which, maybe God is purifying the church and that God will bring new life out of this. We have a whole new sense of the importance of attending to people who've been victimized, and not just attending to what will save the church's reputation. That's different from saying somehow this is the will of God. I don't think you can situate the abuse of children by anybody somehow within God's plan. I think that just doesn't work. That just doesn't work. You can say that God is at work to bring life out of this terrible situation, and that God will bring good, and we have to hope, and it is happening in some way, but I don't think we want to situate it somehow in God's greater will or plan. That doesn't work. So I don't know, those are just a few. We could spend all night on that, but. Any other thoughts or questions or comments?
I'm just going to try to add a little levity along with you, Father. I think of pain as a pain bank.
Yeah.
I think of pain as a pain bank. Every ache and pain I have, I use it as a prayer. And they point to the part of my body where the pain is. And you ladies know that men are the worst pain. And I also think of all the beautiful things that happen in the family. I call it the spiritual B12 shot. So I just leave you with a little bit of my pain.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good. Well, if there are no takers, Father Ryan's going to be around for a little while. There are some refreshments over here, maybe because the topic can be close to home in lots of ways, maybe a personal comment or observation would be well taken rather than just looking to stretch it out. So once again, we thank Father Ryan for a wonderful presentation. I want to make sure you spread the word. We have these summer enrichment programs, so important for us in the life we have as adults in the church, to be adult Catholic Christians. So these enrichment programs really set a tone, and they don't happen in every kind of parish, as you can imagine, or every kind of region of the Catholic Church. So we're grateful that Dr. Tom Groom from Boston College will be with us. He too has written the latest work on staying in the Catholic Church through it all, if you will. So watch for details about that presentation. Spread the word. Please bring some friends, some neighbors, some fellow parishioners. And then Dr. Sandra Keating from the faculty of Providence College will be with us to wrap the series up on the very timely topic of the status quo of dialogue in the relationship of Islam and Christianity. So those, among other many good things happening at St. Anthony's in East Falmouth, at Our Lady Victory in Centerville, the Christ the King here, and many other places on the Cape. So thank you for coming, Winston Hoy. Thank you and your